The PA Empowerment Network is a game changer, uniting individuals with shared goals to support and uplift each other, providing resources, mentorship, and a sense of community. Empowering people means giving them the tools and confidence to thrive and create positive change in their lives and communities.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the Empowerment Show. My name is Kendall Stevenson, and of course, we are under the umbrella of the Empowerment Network. As always, I like to start off the show with having something to be grateful for. Well, I'm grateful actually to be into this space. It gives me an opportunity to meet and greet with people. It gives me an opportunity to bring people together. So I believe that bringing people together causes a movement, and movements are much better than a moment, because when you have a movement, it causes change. So here on this platform is what we try to do. We try to cause change, and by doing that, we have to bring in guests and let you know who's in your community. So this evening, I have a young lady, and her name is Shaneka Storey. Hello, how are you, young lady?
Hi, Kendall. I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. It's glad to have you on the show. Always
Excited to
nice to
be
see you.
here.
Always nice to see someone from the community and come on the show and get introduced and introduce themselves. And this way, the people in the community get they get an opportunity to see who's in their community. So I understand that you're running for a position.
I am. I'm running for the East Stroudsburg Area School Board. I'm a candidate this year.
And how's that going?
It's a new experience for me. I decided to run just because, probably like many people, you're not exactly happy with what's going on the national stage, and sometimes you can feel kind of powerless about that. But instead of allowing that to kind of stifle me, I decided to do something in my local community. So you can vote for the national candidates, but what really impacts us is what's happening in our communities. And so that's why I decided to run. I wanted to see, how I could make a change and how I could impact things here. I have two sons that are in the East Stroudsburg Area School District. They attend Lehman Intermediate. They're in 7th and 8th grade. So I am directly impacted by decisions that are made by our school board. My children are impacted, their friends are impacted. So I wanted to see, if I could get involved a little bit more, other than just being a mom and, helping with things around the school, being a part of the PTO. I wanted to see if I could take it a little bit further.
Seems like you wear quite a few hats around the town here, at least in the educational department. And you
Mhm.
said your children, they also go to the school. How are they doing in the school?
Um, you know, Overall, they're doing well. My oldest son, he's had some struggles, throughout his career, in the school district. So we've done a few different schooling options to try to support him. We started in the school district when they were younger, and then we went private right after COVID hit. So when the school district was still virtual, I put them in a private school that was in person. We tried that for a year. And again, due to bullying and things that I wasn't happy with, we pulled him out and we homeschooled for a couple of years. So, and then based on his needs and the needs of my younger son as well, just needing that interaction, I put them back in the school district because he needed extra supports. And I just felt like, the public schools were the best for that and ensuring that he got his IEP and those things that he needed. So, we're back in the school district and he's done well overall, but struggled with bullying and things like that. So that's something else that really pushed me to get more involved because I see this a lot with our children from all walks of life. And it's something that's really impacting me and my family on a daily basis. So that's another reason why I wanted to get involved and run.
Hmm. So bullying, are you talking about racial incidents or just two kids? One wants to be bigger and badder than the other.
A little bit of everything, honestly. He's had, racial slurs, but, all the kids these days, whether they're black or white, are using words that are inappropriate. They're greatly influenced by what they see on social media and what they think is appropriate. And so they are using racial slurs, but it's also, I'm bigger than you. So I'm going to pick on you, or you think you're better than me. You think you have more than me. So I'm going to pick on you. You name it. He's encountered it. My younger one has a much different personality, so he seems to be able to go with the flow, and he doesn't have those challenges. So every kid is different and trying to find the right balance. That's why we've kind of tried all of them except for a charter school, which I've looked at, but after learning more from having conversations and going to school board meetings and going to the Democratic caucus and talking with other state representatives like Tara Probst and learning about how things like charter schools impact our public school budget and things like that, I decided not to go that route. And to be quite honest with you, my son has gotten a lot of great support from his teachers and his caseworker at his school, and they've been very supportive, helping to integrate him back in school. And my younger son, his teachers are great too. So, while we've dealt with a lot of challenges, we've also had a lot of great supports, and that's one of the reasons why I don't want to pull them out. They've had a lot of fluctuation back and forth in different schools. They want to stay around their friends. And I believe that Lehman and the East Stroudsburg and North especially are good schools, but they're the rumors, and I've heard them since I came here. My oldest son, I have 2 bonus children. They're adults now. I have a daughter and a son, and they both live in New York. So my bonus son lived with us when I first married my husband, and he went to North. And he dealt with bullying even then, mostly because of where he lived. Our neighborhood is kind of considered affluent, and so the kids would bully him because of that. So kids will find a reason to bully you regardless of what it is. If they think you have more than them, less than them, you're too fat, you're too skinny, whatever it may be, the kids are going to do those kinds of things. But my older son graduated from North, and he's done very well. He drives trucks long distance. And, I have lots of friends whose kids have graduated from North and are doing extremely well in their careers. They're, doing very well in New York City. I have a friend whose her daughter is in California right now on an internship. But there are always these rumors that, this school is better than that school, and don't send your kid to this school. And so you do see a lot of kids in the North School District going to other schools, going to private schools because of those rumors. And I believed a lot of that too. But now, having been in the school district, I see that there still are things that could definitely be better, but what school couldn't be? All schools have their challenges, but I think when we put things out there like that, our children pick up on it. They feel like they're less than, they feel like they're not getting what they need. And sometimes children perform according to the standards that you set for them. So if there are rumors in the community that their school isn't as good as all the other schools, how do you think that affects those kids?
Yeah, I recently listened to the video by Kamala Harris. Her story was somewhat the same of how her upbringing was with the bullying, and how even when she got into college that she felt that she was less than. But what I can say is, statistically, is that the schools in Monroe County, they're some of the best schools in the country. They get some of the best gradings. They got some, even in East Stroudsburg, the graduation rate is pretty up there. It's higher than 90%. So a lot of those kids go off to go to college, and a lot of them, I think it was more than 78% of them actually graduate from college out of 10. So they do okay with what they put on the table as far as education is concerned. I like to see a little bit more incorporation as far as African American history. Right. And it should just be, instead of just being African American history, it should just be just like part of American history. I mean, we don't call it white American history; it's the history, right? So it should be all incorporated. But with the bullying, so how do you, if you get this position, right? how do you plan to address that situation? Because that seems to be the heart of where you want to hit is the bullying.
I think there's conversations like I attended a recent school board meeting and they were talking about, mental health of our children and how social media affects them. Really working with our kids to ensure that they are getting the supports that they need and that you have enough support for the teachers, and classroom sizes. There's a lot of things that affect bullying that cause children to bully other children. It's generally, as adults do it too, it's a lack of something that they feel for themselves. So, it's a lack of self-esteem. There's something that we inherently are missing in ourselves, that we feel bad about ourselves. So we pick on other people. So I think mental health awareness and mental health support in our schools for our kids is a really big thing. Also teaching children how to work through problems and deal with emotions. I know even my son, teens and their emotions. We don't always teach our kids how to deal with their emotions. We teach them to hide them, to stuff them. We don't teach them that it's okay to feel a certain way. Most adults, even the emotion that we're most familiar with is anger. But if you really ask someone what they're feeling, is it sadness? Is it frustration? Is it, some other type of emotion? You can't name it, and it generally comes out as anger. So those are some of the things I'd like to see more programs around that in our schools, making sure that teachers have the support that they need and different programs that they need to deal with children who have different neurodivergent types of diagnoses. So whether it's ADHD or autism, when these kids are integrated back into the classroom, do those teachers know how to deal with those kids without necessarily disciplining them, but finding different ways to work with them and different learning types and learning styles? So, in anything also, it's always a matter of money and resources for school. So I know that I can say that I'd like to have all these things, but it's really getting in there, understanding how the school board works, where the monies are going, how we're investing our monies, how we're training our teachers, and kind of getting that basic knowledge to kind of see what next steps are.
Let me tell you something. In this administration, with all of the cuts that's already been done to the education administration, I don't see how you're going to be able to function and get the money to do what you need to do. I think it's an uphill battle because they're already cutting programs that seem to support the people who are disabled. They don't really seem to really care. So it's going to be a difficult uphill battle to get funding.
Yeah.
The education system as it is underfunded. Teachers are underpaid. Teachers have to come out of their pocket to buy supplies for their students. So there are other issues that is going on. But as far as the bullying, that's more of a social issue and more that should be dealt with, I guess, with doing a counselor, some type of counseling. Say, okay, so what we're gonna do is I gotta take a little break, pay the bills. When I come back, then we'll talk a little bit more about who Miss Young Lady is. We'll get into that. Okay? All right.
Hello, I'm Chantel Davis from Willie Mae's Place and Legacy Vines Winery, located in Gilbert, Pennsylvania. We're the only restaurant and winery experience where we pair delicious homemade scratch kitchen Southern comfort food with delicious homemade wine. All of our tastings will include some type of food and wine portion pairing, so definitely check us out. You can visit us at williemaysplace.com, legacyvineswinery.com, and also follow us on our socials, Willie Mae's Place Restaurant. Hope to see you soon.
All right. You ever eaten there?
I have eaten there.
What do you think of the food?
Yeah, and Chantel actually did an activity with our kids. I'm in a group, an organization called Jack and Jill of America, and Chantel and her husband did an activity with our children where they did some cooking with them and taught them about entrepreneurship and owning your own restaurant. So I've eaten there. The food is great. And Chantel and her husband are wonderful people.
And I tell you, during that event, you guys had a great photographer.
We did.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to get into you.
Sure.
Can you tell the world who you are, and why should somebody vote for you other than someone else? What experience do you have at it? Other than having children that were bullied, what other experience do you have at what you want to do?
Well, I think certainly my experiences as a mom are far beyond, just having my kids bullied in the school system. But just being a mom in the school system in general makes me a good candidate, because I'm not sure how many other board members actually have children that are currently in the district in school. There may be a few, but I'm not sure of that. But also by practice, I'm a pediatric nurse. So I've been in the healthcare field now for almost 30 years. And like I said, I started my career as a pediatric oncology nurse. Then I moved into nursing education. I have a master's degree in nursing education. So I am an educator just on the adult side with other professionals that are trying to learn to be nurses. So that's a part of my background. As I mentioned, I am a part of an organization called Jack and Jill of America. I'm a part of the Greater Pocono chapter. I am a founding mother. For those who don't know what Jack and Jill of America is, we are an organization of Black families that support our children through teaching them about leadership, civic engagement, philanthropy, and community service. And so we've been in the area now for 7 years, but Jack and Jill was founded in 1938. So it was really important to bring that into the community for us. It also really supports cultural engagement and ensuring our children know about their Black history. So that's a little bit about, what qualifies me as an educator for nurses, and, learning a lot about adult learning theory and how to teach people in different types of environments. So I teach patients, I teach other healthcare providers. So education is in my background and in my blood, and it's something that I'm very passionate about. I'm also a mentor. So I mentor nurses that are coming into the field. And then I currently work in the pharmaceutical industry as an educator. So nurses that want to come over into this, because, nurses can do a lot of things in their career, I try to help them navigate and find their path into what they want to do in nursing. So a lot of varied experiences in my life that, I can take those applicable skills and bring them to the school board.
Wow. You said a mouthful. You kind of stole a little bit of my thunder. It kind of beat me to the punch. So again, I'm going to say, where's your passion? Where does that come from?
I am by nature, I think I'm a teacher, and I'm also, like I said, I love mentoring, and my passion is helping other people find their light bulb moment. So when you like to teach or you like to mentor, I like to see the little light bulb go off on top of people's heads when they get it. So I like to support other people. I'm also have always been very involved in my church. I've led in my church as the women's ministry leader. I am an ordained deacon. So I've done a lot of community service as well. When I was single, I was the singles ministry leader. So I am very passionate about my faith and helping there. So I'm a servant leader. So that is something that I really am passionate about, service and supporting other people and bringing communities together and helping people become their best selves.
So it was easy for you to fall right in line as far as wanting to help the community. And this is your way of being able to help the community through education, right?
Yes. And I'm also very passionate about health equity. So anything that I can do to bring equity to a situation. And so that's also with education, making sure that we have equitable education throughout the district, kind of going back to that conversation where, some schools are seen as better than others. Then, you want all the kids at all the schools to feel like they're getting the best shot and the best education. So, that equitable education for all the kids.
All right. Sorry about that. My wife wanted to say hi. So you say hi, Millie. So
Hi, Millie.
yeah, yeah.
That's okay. One of my kids might bust in here and say something. So they do it all the time.
I have no problem at all. I try to coerce her to come on. You know, she gets on the air every now and then. She's a nurse, as a matter of fact. How about
Yeah.
that?
Okay.
Yeah, that's her profession. She's been doing that for quite a while now. She still
Mhm.
does. You know, of course, I'm retired, but it doesn't matter. Um, you know, I'm really glad that you got an opportunity to come on. So if someone, let's say there's a young person, male, female, doesn't matter, and they wanted to become or do what you do, and they had that same kind of passion, what you know, what encouragement or what would you tell them?
To become a nurse?
You
Or
become a nurse, or then you want to become a politician? Yeah.
I don't want to be a politician. I just want to be.
Hey, it says candidate.
I want to be involved in my community and make a mark and support and help in any way I can.
As a politician, that's usually the first step. These guys, I take them, I see them all the time. They take that one little step and they get the fever, and next thing you know, they're running for senator. You know.
I would say, like, if for whatever you want to do in life, have a goal and go after it. And however big your goal is, you just break it down into little pieces and start, and you do one thing at a time and you keep marching towards your goal. But definitely dream big. This is not something that I ever thought that I would be doing. I never thought that I would be running for anything, but I just was at home one day and just feeling very disgruntled with the way the country was going. And so a big dream would be to change, politics in Washington. How would you do that? You start small by doing something in your own community and being realistic about what you can do and the impact that you can have in the world around you. So we know that, in our own communities is where we can make the biggest difference. And that's what directly impacts us, those local votes, who's running your county, who's running in your area, and voting for the right people so that they can make the changes that you want to see.
Well, when is it? May 20th? Is that
It is
the
May 20th, so that's
May,
next week. That's the
next,
primary. So
next week on what day?
I think it's Tuesday. Is that
I'm,
Tuesday?
you know, I'm maturing, as my wife says, so I have to look everything up now.
Yes, it's Tuesday, next Tuesday, May 20th. If you live in Monroe or Pike County,
Okay.
you can vote for Shaneka Storey.
Did they already have the mail voting, or
The mail-in ballots have gone out. I've had a few of my friends message me to assure me that they voted for me. So yes, the mail ballots have gone out.
Okay. Yeah, I think Tara is on your side. Is that Tara Probst?
I believe so. Yes, I've had several conversations with her as well.
Yeah, I think so. She's a nice woman. I can't speak for her. I can't say exactly who she's voting for, but I think you guys have a lot in common. So I can't see her not voting your way.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. If someone needed to get in contact with you, if they wanted to donate to your campaign or something like that, where would they go get this information from?
I've kept it very simple, quite honestly. Like, I don't have like a campaign page or anything like that. People could, message me through Facebook, or I have a LinkedIn profile as well. You could message me through there. So like, I'm very, simple. I don't have like an official campaign or anything like that. I just have been doing everything through my personal page.
Okay, well, you got a nice picture for the profile for your personal page.
I do. A great photographer helped me with that.
Yeah, I tell you, it looks just like you were at a studio, and it's very good, very interesting. Okay, enough about that. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Empowerment Show. We are on the Empowerment Network. Please subscribe. We appreciate that. Just push that subscribe button. Always need subscribers. If you're checking us out on Facebook, give us a like. We appreciate them too. And we also got the little star things going on now. So again, this is Kendall Stevenson. This is the Empowerment Network. This is the Empowerment Show. And thank you guys for showing up. As my friend always says, Make sure you be yourself because everyone else is taken. All right. All right. So
Thank
peace. Good
you.
night.
Bye-bye.